What's up, party people? You are now watching the TNF podcast. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Click on that bell for notifications. We got some upcoming shows for you. On the 8th, we got Michael Regilio. He is a very funny comedian from Los Angeles. That's going to be at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I was on his show, actually. Let's see here. We've got Aaron Dahlbeck on the 12th of January at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. He's from Bane, Converge, Be Well, Only Crime. Just added Mike Gallo from Agnostic Front. That's going to be on the 15th of January. That's a Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And Jim LaMarca from Chimera. That's going to be on the 19th of January, Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And as you can see at the bottom there, I've got a merch company, Hell's Heart Merch Co., hellsheartco.bigcartel.com. Use a code 20 for 20% off your entire order. Please support. They are Bella Canvas Tri-Blend t-shirts. They feel really soft, and they're movie and hardcore themed. So if you're into that sort of stuff, go on over and support. We got super chats too, and we've got ordinary chat if you don't want to donate any money. So just field your questions there in the chat box. All right. So my next guest today, this guy is a legend. He is a fixture in the New York hardcore and hip hop scene, or horrorcore, which I think is a great term. Caught his podcast with my buddies Jay Reason and Ezek, Diablo's Den. It was great. Ladies and gentlemen, Jerry fucking Body. What's going on, brother? Oh, I can't hear you. Oh, you're muted. Hang on. Oh, you're muted, brother. You got to unmute you.
There
you go.
There we go.
There we go.
I was scared I was going to be talking shit and not know that I was going to be on here right now going through the internet. So, I had to be careful.
How you living, brother?
I'm good. I'm actually good. How about yourself?
I am outstanding, sir. The first question I like to ask people on here, because typically we have musicians, but we have comedians and actors on here, is how did you get exposed to music? Like, what's your earliest memory? Did you have music playing in your household? And then I guess it would seg into, what was your first show, whether it be, non-hardcore, whatever, and then how that led into hardcore and hip hop.
Okay, well, that's pretty easy. Well, we got to go all the way back. First off, I'm adopted. That's number one. I'm Brazilian. I was adopted by off the boat Italian people. Now, if anybody knows how off the boat Italian people work, there was nothing that resembled fun in my house at all. Nothing. My parents were like in their late 40s when they got me. So, they were like, it was whatever. So it was no fun whatsoever. So music, none of that was around. None of it. None of it was around at all. But magically, my first words ever was Jingle Bells. Singing that song was my first words. My mother said, as soon as I started singing it, I didn't stop from then. So we're talking going to be 51 years of actually doing vocals. So it was inherent. It was there. It was there since day one. And from there, I found everything basically by myself, or, my cousins. My first real exposure to what turned me on to heavy music. Let's go there. What turned me on to heavy music was Motley Crue when I was 10. It was Shout at the Devil. My cousin had a bootleg tape, and I heard it, and I stole it, and I went home with it because I had to make it mine. You know what I mean? It was like, I was like that, I got in trouble for that shit about 20 minutes after it happened, but it didn't matter because I already knew that's all that mattered to me was that sound. That's it. Nothing else. And from there, my first show was actually Overkill. It was Overkill. Oh, actually, that was my second show. Nuclear Assault. It was Nuclear Assault in Leeway at L'Amour's. And I was with Ill Bill and obviously Gore-Tex. Chunk was with us. And I believe that Necro was with us also. And we were sitting on the bleachers, basically four nobodies in the world at that point, like just sitting in the bleachers. And I saw that shit and I was like, wow, this is definitely where I want to be. and leeway, um, being crossover, hardcore, and hip hop kind of put me on to where that was going on. And, then came the Beastie Boys and Run DMC and all that kind of shit. So, like, basically, the floodgates got opened by that show of me going out in general. So that's why I started doing music, because I had to be Motley Crue, and then had to be Metallica, and and then that's that. So that's basically where that all comes from. So the hardcore scene came because of that show. My first show, metal show, turned out being my first metal and hardcore show. And that was it. I was like 12, maybe 13. And that's when me and Bill started Injustice. And that was my first band. So I was like 13 years old with Ill Bill, and Injustice was born. And there you go. That's where that started.
So your parents not having music playing in the household, how did they kind of react to you getting involved in metal and hardcore?
They didn't think that music was anything. They thought I was selling drugs. Like, I played with Mucky Pup. I was the hype man in Mucky Pup for years. So I'd go on tour in Europe with them, and I'm a teenager. I'm like 16, 17 years old going on tour. And I would just be like, imagine this happening now, bro. Imagine now. And this day and age, I was like, all right, I'll see you in 3 months. And I just would go and be gone for like 3 months and then just come back. Like, that could never happen now with cell phones and all this kind of shit. But, I knew what I was doing, and I've always been independent. You know what I'm saying? So, it was unstoppable at that point.
They couldn't really say much then.
What are you going to say? And they didn't speak English. So if I got yelled at, I was in Italian, and none of my friends knew what they were saying ever. So
Dude.
yeah, definitely.
So what was Europe like, being such a young guy and going over there playing music? I know Europe is really, I've been to Europe, but I've never
Better than
been able
here.
to. Well, yeah, I've never been able to experience the music scene in Europe. I was in Japan for a while and got to experience the hardcore scene over there. But I've been told, and from what I've experienced, like just online and whatnot, European people are really welcoming and they're really inviting, and
Yeah.
they will show up and they will go off for you.
I've never played a show that wasn't leaking out of the windows packed when it comes to Europe. Never. Like, I played Lowlands Festival, um, all kinds of huge events, and from the littlest tiny club that could fit 40 people, if it could fit 40, there was 80. And if there was 50,000 people allowed on the fairgrounds, there was 250,000. Like, that's how diehard these kids are. They'll sleep outside for 4 days to say hello to you. Just to say hello to you. They'd be like, "Oh, rap guy." You know what I mean? And stuff like
Yeah.
that. That, like,
Yeah.
they always they come out. Like, here, the scenes are great where they're great. Like, I'm lucky that I grew up in the scene when I did, in the middle to late 80s to the 90s, because everybody was outside at that time. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, now it's like, you take it where you could get it. You have to have sick of it all to play, basically, to pack a joint out. Where, like, in Europe, your friend's band that sucks will pack the place because
It's
they just care
crazy.
about going out. And in most of the clubs in Europe, after the bands play, it turns into a disco in a lot of places. And
Oh shit.
everybody's yeah, and it'll be playing hip hop and pop music and all that. And everybody goes from moshing and killing each other to literally dancing and hanging out. I did ecstasy for the first time while I was out there because of that. All of these places, it's like that, like how we had Webster Hall, where you can just go to another room and have a different experience. This place just turned into a different experience, no matter what. They don't gatekeep in Europe. They listen to music. So if you're awesome, you're awesome. And even if you're not, you're doing your thing and they're outside for it. It's
Yeah.
it it's it blows minds how amazing it is. Like, a lot of these bands that are here would go over so well there and be able to blow up, but nobody's taking them out like they used to.
Right.
Like, Mucky Pup brought Biohazard out for the first time, and look at the monster that Biohazard became. You know what I
If
mean?
you've
And it's like,
if you've ever watched that Whackin' Festival, it's like crazy. There had to be, I mean, thousands and thousands of people there. all showing up for Biohazard. It was insane.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I mean? I
That's
grew up
wild.
with them as a child. Like I hung out with Bobby. Bobby's I'm gonna say about 6 years older than me, probably. And I was like an 11-year-old kid hanging out with 18-year-olds. And like Bobby was one of these people that was like mentor, like, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. It's like grew up with all these people, like Life Agony grew up across the street from me. Like we all were constantly whatever. And then I play Lowlands Festival and Life Agony's playing it as well. So for me to be able to get in a golf cart and go to the other side of the fairground and see people that I lived across the street from, went to school with, you know, did a lot of our first with on the other side of a fairground in Holland, I'm sure that, you know, everybody knew what they were doing and we're exactly where we needed to be. Because you don't get that. You don't see somebody in another. I'll walk into another state and know people. That's fortunate. You know what I'm saying? Like another
Sure.
country on the other side of the world. You know what I mean? What's the odds of that?
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I have to
Exactly.
thank God for music because that's what brought me everywhere.
So you did Injustice, and then where did you go from there?
I did it justice. Then I started playing like we were doing like hardcore. I was actually playing with Alan from Life Agony. He was playing bass and in a band that we had, Demented Retribution. And he decided he wanted to go do hardcore. And I was still doing that. So that broke off from there. Then after that, I started playing with Mio from Biohazard, the original drummer. I was playing with him, Splatter from Broken Bones, and Tapeworm, who also used to play in Mucky Pup. It's almost like Mucky Pup gave birth to a lot of people here, and nobody even realizes that shit. The baby Chris from Mucky Pup played bass in my band when Tapeworm wasn't playing with us. They were recording the Now album at the time, or whatever. They were recording an album at the time, and I had heard some demos, and I was like, "Oh, I'd be cool on that song. Oh, you should let me be on that song. Oh, you should let me do this." He's like, "Come to the studio." And I went, "Really?" And he goes, "Yeah." So I went, laid down songs. We did a reggae song. We did another song I did a part in. And he's like, "Well, how would you like to come on tour?" And I was like, "To where?" He's like, "Europe." I was like, "Europe." Okay. And there you go. And that was it. Like, you know, it's just that's it.
I have to interject here real quick. Brandon James says Jerry looks like a Mexican hobbit now.
He's
Do you
just
know this
mad.
guy?
He's just mad. He's just mad. He told me he was gonna roast me to death. He said I have a gay mustache. He said
Oh, he
he's
said that
saying all kinds
already.
of
He
shit.
said
Yeah,
gay
say gay
stash.
stash. There you go. There it
Yeah,
goes.
love you,
I
big bro.
I love
Yeah,
you
it's all
too.
love.
I love
That's
you
great.
too.
That's fantastic.
He's just mad because he's bald and I have hair. He's just mad at that part. You know what
That's
I
great.
mean?
Well, keep your questions coming, chat. Now, you had mentioned to me because we were planning on doing this in November originally, and there were some changes, and we said we'd kind of put it off until after the holidays.
Gotcha.
And you said that you weren't collaborating with anyone anymore, and I'm guessing that's including Dead Crew. Am I correct about that? And
No.
and what's the reasoning behind that?
Okay. Dead Crew is me and Tony Enns, DJ Red Devil, and Tommy. Tommy Benevento, Tony's brother. My brothers. That'll never end. That even after actual death won't end at all because someone's gonna come back from the grave and deal with that. These people are my family beyond even the dictionary meaning of family. Um, you know how bands like as they go along, things take over like ego or this guy's personality or this guy's getting more attention or this guy's a dick. What's he saying on the internet? And whatever, since the internet ruins lives. But um
Yeah.
it's the opposite because we made a deal in the beginning. We were like, we're brothers first, the band is second. And I never went into a thing in my life being that way. And I mean, it's had a learning curve because, I'm impossible to deal with in a lot of ways, especially when it comes to the creative process, because I'm crazy. But you know, and you learn to love their defects more than you love their strengths. It's easy to love somebody for their strengths. You know what I mean? To love somebody because they're late all the time. To love somebody because they don't answer text messages. To love somebody, you know what I mean? Dumb shit
Yeah.
to even deeper shit. You know, like a band is a marriage on whatever level. It's
100%.
you know, and these bands are like, oh, they're my brothers, they're my brothers. You've had 19 members in your band.
Yeah.
I wouldn't leave this situation, even if they asked me to. I'd find a way back in, like because it's that. And I have another group that hasn't dropped anything yet, though. The Five Families, which is me, Tony Slippers, Paulie Nugent from Lords of Brooklyn, G Fella, and Big Left from La Coca Nostra. That's the new fucking Voltron right there, and we're almost done in the process with the recordings and all that. And anybody who's heard this just doesn't even know how to fucking react, because it's monsters. And because I'm on with these people, it really pushed me even harder, because I was like, I can't be the weakest link out of the five. But I gotta tell you, I'd be happy being the weakest link out of these five, because I'm gonna tell you right now, it doesn't matter if you're on this record. Your life is gonna change. It's gonna change. Like when you hear what happens here, your life is gonna fucking change. Like that moment when I told you about Molly Crew, how my life changed. Your
Yeah.
life's gonna fucking change when you hear this shit, because I've never heard it this hard before. It's so hard without being a tough guy. It's just the hardest lyricists putting it down, and that's coming soon as well. And that leads me into the Gemini Twins, which is me and Tony Slippers. That's my twin. Enough said.
Yeah.
And there's literally a handful of other people that I feel that way about. Like Isaac being one of them, Diggy being one of them. You know what I mean? People like that. My boy Consiglio in Baton Rouge, my producer John Salinas, like people like that, they're part of, they're part of the fucking suit that gives me the powers at the end of the day, because, they love me and I love them and I work with them. That being said, I ain't fucking with nobody else. I'm not doing features for anybody. I don't want anybody doing features for me. I don't want any of that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
And also my brother Bundy, he put in the work. He with me too. That's another one. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, I can't be bothered. People take too long. Like, it's like leaving a body before it's dead. Like, like, oh, well, I shot him 8 times. The fuck does that even mean? You know what I mean? You shot
Right.
him 8 times. 50 Cent got shot in the face 5 times, and it made his voice better for hip hop. You know what I mean? Like, finish
Yeah.
the job. Throw away
Yeah.
the
Exactly.
plastic. You know what I mean? Be like Dexter. You know what I'm saying? Be like Batman. Be so insane about what you do, your calling. If this is your calling in life, nothing else should be calling you while you're doing it. You know what I'm saying? That's the bottom
Right.
line. You know what I mean? Then say you're a part-timer, say it's not in your heart. That's fine with me, bro. I don't care. And
Yeah.
again, I'm not knocking anybody. I'm not out here saying people don't put in the work. I'm not saying that. I'm saying in my experience, this is what has happened with me. And I don't know, maybe they just hate me and don't want to do it. And I don't mean they hate on me because I'm great. Maybe they just fucking hate me and don't want to tell me that, which is cool too. You know what I mean? Everybody's not going to love you. You're not for
Right.
everybody. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So yeah, that's what I mean by I'm not going to collaborate with anybody. I'm not, if I fucked with you before and we're on a level of, I'm not adding any more to my body count.
Got
You
you.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
The gene pool is not getting diluted anymore. That's the bottom fucking line. And I prefer to work alone when it comes to my stuff, because I know what it's got to be, and that's it.
Yeah. No, I hear you there, man. And I could totally relate to you. I'm a fucking notorious prick in the studio, and I have to kind of take a step back sometimes and be like, I might not have all the answers, and like, somebody might have a better idea than me, and I
Yeah,
could totally relate to as far as with it is essentially like a marriage. It's like you're married to like 4 or 5 other people, and you got to deal with their personalities. You got to deal with them
yeah,
not being punctual. You got to deal with
yeah.
whatever drama they bring to the table. But it's like one of those things, like Chris Rock says, you got to love the crust of a motherfucker, like you got to
Yeah.
really appreciate all their ineptitudes and inadequacies more than their strengths. Because
The
if you
people,
let that stuff like grind away at you, it's just going to fall apart.
all the people that I mentioned taught me to be a better human being. Never mind, like a better friend. They taught me how to be a better fucking human being in this process, which it's nuts. But I'm still gonna be me. I'm still crazy. When it comes to, I don't know. I got to be done. I got to
Yeah.
get it out of my head. I have to get it out of my head because it like literally torments me. Not to sound like
Yeah.
some kind of fucking tortured artist. That has nothing to do with it. It's just so much. When you hear so much in your head, there's too much noise. That's
Right.
what I want to get rid of. So when these guys, when these people take too long, I still have that noise in my head. So how am I going to build with other noise going on? It's like having
Yeah.
tinnitus,
Yeah.
but it's music because I'm still hearing the unfinished songs on this side while I'm writing the ones on this side.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. And that's a incredibly cathartic thing to do, is just write it out, get it on paper, put it on wax, do whatever you got to do,
Yeah.
um now, so you're Jerry Body now, so what was the reason for the name change?
Well, Jerry Body is my real name. It's my government name.
Mm.
It's literally my government name. It's spelled Botte, and that's how the Americans pronounce it. And I'll just never correct them because I don't care. Like that doesn't matter to me. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
whatever. Yeah, mozzarella. Go ahead. You know what I mean? Whatever. Whatever.
Mozzarella.
I speak fluent
Did I do it
Italian.
right?
Close. Very
Okay.
close. Very
Okay.
close. Like I speak fluent Italian, and it's like if I got annoyed every time somebody said something that wasn't perfect, then I'm a dick. There's really no point. I'm going to be
Right.
spending all day just worrying about that. Like certain shit
Yeah.
gets me aggravated and certain stereotypes get me, but that's not what we're talking about right
Right.
now.
And
Go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, my real first name is John, but it's got the ridiculous spelling Jon. And growing up, everybody used to
I
spell
love
it
that.
John. No, everybody used to spell it John, and I used to correct them, but that after a while, I was like, it sounds the same. Fuck it, I don't care.
You,
So I
you,
just
you
let
didn't
him do
get
it.
JHON at least.
Yeah, that'd be a little ridiculous, I
You
think.
would have had that. So my last name is Body. So I'm a
Okay.
wrestling fan since I'm a baby. Like ever since I first saw wrestling, it's what I'm saying. Seeing Rey Mysterio aggravates me because I always wanted to do that, and I was like, this motherfucker is my exact size, and he's doing that shit. If I only
Yeah.
knew that I could have went to Mexico and fucking learned lucha libre style and did all that shit, maybe my life would be different. But whatever, it is what it is. So, we used to. They used to call me Jerry the Body Ventura in school when I was a kid. They used to be like Jerry the Body Ventura, Jerry the Body Ventura, Jerry the Body, Jerry the Body, Jerry the Body, and it just turned into that. And it's always been that, all through everything. I OD'd when I was 30 years old. I'm gonna have 20 years off heroin as of next month.
Fucking
So
awesome.
yeah, thank you. So I OD'd. So I didn't want to associate with anything to do with my past life. So I changed my name to Jerry X because everybody's always, when I get introduced, it's like, oh, that's Jerry. Who's that? He's my ex. So I'm Jerry, her ex, and her ex, and her ex, and her ex. I'm Jerry the X. And that's it. And that's where that was. That's where that came from. You know what I mean?
Sure, sure.
And it was technically Jeremy because somebody had called me that one day and I started laughing. I said, I'm going to use that as a name now because the person called me that. She goes, "Yeah, your friend Jeremy." I was like, "Yeah, Jeremy." So it was Jeremy X, and if you spell it out, it's Jerry my ex, Jerry my
Oh,
ex,
okay.
Jerry my
All right.
ex,
Gotcha.
Jeremy X, and there's that, and that's been for almost 20 years, and
Yeah.
I kind of decided that I needed to hang that up because all of it, including the Jerry X era, is part of why I can do what I do. But I feel like going back to the basic, the original, my real name, just going back to my name, puts me in a comfort zone that I'm not in as a character. That's a character. This is just me, and
Yeah.
there's nothing I could do about it. I got nothing to hide behind because it's literally my name. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, absolutely. And Jerry X, you said, X's and whatnot. Were those some of the witches in the coven, so to speak?
nah,
No.
most of my friends are girls. I hang out with women. Like I was the only boy in like a 8 cousin family. I'm not gonna say only, but my cousin was already kind of older when I was born. I was the baby boy in an Italian family with like 7 girls around
Oh
me.
God,
So
dude.
so I've been raised by women, Italian, little young girls going into high school and all kinds of shit. We spoke Italian at home. Like I got carried around like the Lion King, like that shit. Like, oh, the baby boy. Like, are you kidding? You know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
My cousin Helena, who she's probably watching, but my cousin Helena will she's younger than me, but I get treated like the baby because I'm the boy because girls don't mean anything in an Italian family.
Right. That's funny.
But yeah, so that's what's up with that.
So, what was the inspiration behind that song? Because, like I said, having lived I lived in Los Angeles, and every girl you'll meet out there claims to be a
Married
witch
to
or an
Pete Steele. They're married to Pete Steele, all of them. They're all
Oh,
married to
really?
Pete Steele. Yeah, it's I guess every girl is like, "Oh, I'm married to Pete Steele. He loves
Oh,
me." No, he doesn't.
yeah. And he's
Not
dead
even
now.
now. Not even now. Not then
Yeah.
and not now. My uncle Peter. I used to sit on Peter Steele's lap because he's so much bigger than me. I used to just go and sit on his lap and be like, "Uncle
Oh,
Pete,
shit.
what are we gonna do, Uncle Pete?" Yeah, he was good. He was a good person. He was a very good person. That was a big hit. He was a
Wow.
very good person. Very integral person in my life too. Very integral person. He was good. He was real
I
good.
mean, I've definitely I had a girlfriend that was into uh the Bloody Kisses album, and we made that album worth it. It was a lot of fun. So that's awesome. I
Yeah.
didn't know you had such a close connection with him.
Yeah, yeah. The everybody that I hang out with on some level neighborhood wise that's attached to that. It's like a mini music scene inside the neighborhood, and you have like Carnivore, you have Biohazard, you have Life Agony, you have fucking all kinds, like all over the place, and everybody grew up with each other. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like Canarsie, Mill Basin, Midwood, like all of that, Bay Ridge. You know what I mean? You got like Paulie Nugent just hanging out with in the hardcore scene, but like everybody, Marauder, like the list goes on of the people that, like I said, I was lucky to grow up in an era where everybody around me was musical because I didn't have it at home. I got it in the street, like the new shit and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
what's going on with that. But to bring it to why that song, the entire record is a concept album. The whole record, Brooklyn Horror Story, because it's a American Horror Story, right? The
Hmm.
show.
Yeah.
Every title is a season of American Horror Story.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, Coven is the 3rd season of American Horror Story. So Murder House is the first one. You know what I mean? Like it just
Right.
goes like that. So what I did is I took the titles and I wrote a song to the title. And I
No
just
shit.
want like yeah, and I wrote the record, like I sat there and wrote to the titles, nothing to do with the show. Just the topic was the title, and it wound up being
Right.
a whole concept record. So my first solo album was a complete concept record that now, if you listen to it full, look, and like back in the day, look at the album sleeve and immerse yourself in the artist, you'll understand what the fuck is going on in there, and you'll be like, holy shit, this is a whole entire storyline. Most of my records are concept albums. Most.
And I only watched the hotel season of that, and I think that's pretty cool that whenever people do concept albums. I saw you on Diablo's Den talking about the concept album of a werewolf, and he was
That's
like,
it.
It's that album. Okay.
That's the album. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and when you get these ideas for concept albums, where do you draw influence aside from like, obviously television and horror? Like who's some of your biggest artists that have inspired you, whether it be in hardcore or hip hop?
This is where it's going to get weird. Anything I do, I tend not to listen to the genre. I just don't. I stopped listening to hardcore in 1991. To me, the last great real hardcore album is Brightside from Killing Time. That's it. Like after that, it's metal. I'm sorry. After that, it's metal. And they're crossover, but it really, 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 really dug in the crates for that hardcore feel. It's a crossover record. It's metal, but no. Come on. Bah! Talk behind my back. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? That came out at a time when I was like 16 years old, 17 years old. I was a baby. I just heard, blah, talk behind my back. I was like, shit, nothing's going to top this. And I was right. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, in my opinion, nothing will be better than that album or anything behind it.
Well, that's good that you mentioned that, because I was going to ask you about like the current state of hardcore and
it's metal.
if yeah, I would say so. I think
metal.
that that
Metalcore.
metalcore, yeah, metalcore definitely kind of took over, and traditional hardcore is kind of
it's
a
crossover.
thing
It's
of a
still
former
crossover.
era.
It's still crossover, at the end of the day, because crossover is hardcore and thrash, or hardcore
Yeah.
or thrash and punk, or something to that effect. Like DRI turned into that, and look at
Gangrene.
suicidal tendencies. Suicidal tendencies went from like a punk hardcore band to a straight out melodic metal fucking band to a funk band. At the end of the day, they're like suicidal Hot Chili Peppers. You know what I mean? Like that guy, Mike Muir, one of my idols, one of my just the point of Mike Muir, just Mike Muir being fucking Mike Muir. I probably mention him more times in my songs than he's probably said his own name.
Wow.
Constantly mention him, constantly mention Johnny Rotten. I love Johnny Rotten. You know what I mean?
Yeah. 100%. I'm definitely inspired by him a lot. And I saw a video of Mike Muir today where it was an older video where he was talking about, he's like,
it was like 1991.
Yeah, he was like, I don't blame George Bush for my problems. He's like, anything that I've fucked up in my life, if it hasn't been just bad luck, is a result of me. It's like I fucked that up. And that was like a hard thing. I really didn't understand that until I was probably in my early 30s, and it's like, we constantly, focus on negative events in our lives, and we want to scapegoat and, place blame where it probably doesn't belong, when we could probably just take a mirror and just look at ourselves and be like, yep, this is my fault,
Yeah. Oh, exactly. I pride on myself of it being my fault. I'm never scared to say that I'm a dick or I was wrong. And that's a big quality that people don't have anymore. They're never wrong. It's got to be, it doesn't even have to be agree to disagree. It could be fuck you, but I love you anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like, like people I hang out with every shade in the world of person since I'm a kid, because again, going across all these music scenes, you know what I mean? I'm privy to way more of an audience than everybody else is at the end of the day, because and everywhere I go, I never feel fucked up because I'm not fucked up. You know what I mean? And don't get me
Right.
wrong, like, you know, I get hassled more by cops. I get whatever more, you know what I mean? But it is what
Right.
it is, and I just keep moving because I can't let that define what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That I can't do. You know what I'm saying? I spent my whole life hating myself.
Right.
For what? For what?
Yeah.
The minute I started giving a shit about myself, everything went up.
And you had mentioned like being clean 20 years. Did you do anything as far as like 12 step, or did you, just quit cold turkey, or like how did that work for you?
Well, I OD'd my last time that I did heroin. I OD'd. I died for like a substantial amount of time, and I was in a coma for 3 days and came
Ooh.
back to life. And my mother was there, and she aged like 20 fucking years from when I saw her 3 days prior,
Oh shit.
thinking I was gonna die. And I said, "I'm gonna go to rehab because I can't kill this fucking woman." I was like, "God could kill this woman. This woman could kill herself, whatever, but it's not gonna be me who does it." Because, like, literally, she had gray hair. She had black hair when I went to sleep. When I woke up, she was like an old woman out of nowhere.
Holy shit.
So I went to rehab, and then I did 12 step. Um, then I did 12 step. Then I realized the hypocrisy in there. Because even there, there's a hierarchy amongst the drug addicts. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're fucking
Right.
so fucking cool. Oh, well, I haven't done this in 10 years. Well, if you haven't done it in 10 minutes and you haven't been able to do that, that's fucking just as good, if not more miraculous, because you're 10 years removed. This guy's 10 minutes removed, and he's not going back right now,
Right.
and they don't look at it like that. They don't want to hear from you unless you're 72 hours clean. They don't want to hear from you unless yeah, whatever, man. Listen,
Yeah.
it gave me somewhere to go. It gave me a lifelong friend, my friend Kim, who just celebrated 20 years clean on New Year's Eve is her clean date. New Year's Eve is her clean date.
That's
You
awesome.
know what I mean? Her
Yeah.
birthday is St. Patrick's Day. And um
Shit.
I was like, how the fuck do you have these two anniversaries in your life on the two most partiest days of the year? How did you survive that?
Dude, my birthday is on repeal day whenever they repealed prohibition, and I'm part Irish, so it's like, what the fuck? But yeah, I feel you on that, man. Like I had kind of a negative experience with 12 step myself, and 2 years clean myself, almost fucking
Congratulations.
overdosed on, thank you. Almost overdosed on fentanyl, and I was having a hard time breathing, and I was just like, fuck this shit. I was about to die, and I was like, fuck this. I can't do it. And
Yeah,
so I just,
good for
got
you.
off it. But thanks, man. And the 12 step, for what it was worth, connected me to a higher power. And that's what I'll give it. Like
Okay.
that was the
Okay.
benefit that I got from it.
Whatever
But
you need. Whatever you need. Whatever you need.
yeah, absolutely, man. Now let's kind of get back to the music and whatnot. You've got a lot of horror themes,
Yeah.
and you call yourself like ghoulcore and horrorcore.
New
Was
York
that
Gold
something
Corps.
that was that something that was back to your parents and whatnot, were you kind of like allowed to watch horror and movies, or was that something that you kind of picked up along the way too?
I was raised in the church, like raised in it, like the actual building. My aunt was a nun. My mother was a nun until she left Italy. Uh, you know, that's a very interesting family story. But so she was no longer that, but she was very religious. My mom went to church every day, and like I was an altar boy. Like until I was into my teens, like I was like raised backstage, so I've always had that going on, and the Catholic religion scares you like all day long, like the devil this and that and all this kind of bullshit. So I was always interested in what I wasn't supposed to be fucking with because I saw The Exorcist when I was a baby, as a kid, like a baby, like it was on television. It was probably in
Yeah.
1978. I saw it on TV, probably like 1978, and I was like 5 years old, and I saw that shit, and I'm still scared of it, like, till now, and when it
Yeah.
comes to, like, the supernatural, I'm scared of all that shit, like,
Wow.
completely scared, like, deathly afraid of that. So, a la Batman, um, you write about what you fear, and you're not scared of it anymore because 'cause you're speaking it out of existence, like, you're making yourself into these characters that you're afraid of, and, that's
Yeah.
why I do it because, it's scary material, you know what I'm saying? It's fucking
Yeah.
scary. I love it. Like, you know what I mean? I love doing that. And I'm not even like a big horror person at all. Like, I draw these influences out of my fears, bro. A lot, not from like things that I'll see. You know what I'm saying? Like it's deep
Right.
in there. It's fucking scary. As a writer, I don't draw from what I see. I draw from what I see and hear. Like that's
Mm.
it. You know what I mean? And it's like, because I don't want to sound like anything or talk about anything, and the people I do talk about in my songs are real life murderers. They're like real people. Like I don't really fuck with horror movies here and there, but they're like real life people that are fucking murderers that I either know or know of because that's more interesting to me. The serial killer is way more interesting to me than a horror movie about a serial killer, you know, TV show about a
Henry.
serial killer. Yeah, see, that guy was wild, and I didn't watch that until I was probably in my late 40s.
That movie is fucked up.
I know, I
It's
know.
so fucked up. I feel like I need a shower after I watch it.
I watched it as an adult, like, I didn't watch it as a kid. I watched it as a full-grown man, probably,
Same.
like,
Yeah,
during COVID,
same.
because nothing else was on. So,
Dude, yeah, and I mean, with The Exorcist, I don't know if you knew this or not, but the Catholic Church actually gave the thumbs up to that movie. And
yeah,
it may go back to what you were saying about trying to instill that fear of God in people. They were like, okay, yeah, they believe that the devil is real and that demons are real, and you've got these, the Catholic priests are the protagonists, so they're like, exorcising the
yeah,
demons from
of
this little
course.
girl. Yeah,
Of
that's
course, and, like, in the movie, um, it was like, she's not saying she's a demon or that she's possessed, she's saying she's the devil
she's the
himself. That's
devil. Yep.
that's like saying you're Napoleon Bonaparte, like, and it's funny because in one of the first songs I ever did with Paulie Nugent, because we had this thing, Brooklyn Murder Club, it was me and him in the beginning, and the first line was, "Nigga, I'm the devil. Nigga, I'm the motherfucking devil." Because I'm not telling you I'm Jerry or a demon. Like, I'm telling you I'm the devil himself because of that. Like, I'll take
Mhm.
lines from movies and flip them into like it's me saying it without using the line, but people be like, "Yo, I see what you did there, motherfucker." Like, you know what I mean? And it's like I do a lot of that shit. But
Yeah, I
yeah,
noticed that in a lot of your music too, and I noticed you had a video of boxing. It was Tyson. I couldn't see the other boxer. Was it that wasn't Holyfield? Was it?
it was just Tyson's greatest knockouts.
Okay, okay.
And I just put color on it to not get in trouble.
Oh, okay, got you. What did you think of that Tyson Logan Paul fight?
I knew it was bullshit from when it started, that it was bullshit. Because first of all, that guy's older than us.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You're gonna fight a 28-year-old kid in the ring? Like, I could
yeah,
see like a bar brawl, you'd beat up a 28-year-old kid, I could see that, but we're talking a game of stamina here.
yeah,
Boxing has nothing to do with how hard you can hit. Boxing has to do with how long you could stand up more than the other
totally.
guy. It's all cardio. It's all
Yep,
mental and it's all cardio and luck.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Luck that you
yeah.
just happen to tap the guy in the fucking piece of the glass that shatters the windshield.
Well, when he was, training for everything, and he was just, in the ring on the bag banging and stuff, like I was legitimately like, man, he might pull it off. He might, you know. But yeah, after it started and everything, I was like, this is horse
Yeah, if he
shit. I don't
fights
even
you
want to
or
watch
me, if he fights us, we're
it.
untrained professionals. Like that guy is a fucking monster. But against
Yeah,
a 28-year-old boxer, you know what I mean? It's like,
right.
the kid's a 28-year-old boxer. Talk all the shit you want. Kid's a 28-year-old boxer. He's a multi millionaire. Smart, smart as hell. Knows how to fucking pitch himself. And people are mad that the kid's worth like $70 million.
Oh, sure.
You know
Yeah.
what I
Oh,
mean?
but a lot of people are thinking that he's been, getting people to throw the fights. Like here's a great movie for you. I mean, because I knew we were going to
He would
talk
be the
about
first
this going
person.
into it. Well, yeah, I know, but I mean, there's a really great movie with Humphrey Bogart. It was the last movie he did before he died. It was called The Harder They Fall, and they basically get this guy who I want to say he's from South America. He's from some South American country. Can't fight worth a shit, but he's big. And they basically run a racket, getting all these guys to throw fights so they can, fix the bets and get him to win and shit like that.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of people that speculate that that's kind of what Paul's been doing.
Yeah. So then don't go. Don't pay for it. Don't watch it. Don't stream
Yeah.
it. Don't give
Yeah.
them the money to do it. But
Yeah.
everybody watched it, right?
Yeah.
There you
It was
go.
just disappointing, like it was just sad,
I don't know. I think every sporting event is fixed no matter what. No
I have a
matter
buddy
what.
that believes that. He's
Baseball,
Italian too.
baseball is fixed. There's no way that the Yankees should have lost that. Baseball's fixed. Fucking what the
Oh,
and it's
oh,
not even it has nothing to do with anything. It's just a matter of all of a sudden you don't know how to play no more. All of a sudden in the come on. Well, all of a sudden the worst ball player will fucking school anybody. You're talking about the best of the best.
yeah.
Come on. You
I
just
mean, my
forgot how to
Dodgers
play.
won. My Dodgers won. I don't know if it was fixed or not, but
Hey, listen, I love the
I was
Dodgers.
happy.
The Dodgers are from Brooklyn. If anybody was gonna beat them, it was the Dodgers. And even funnier story about that. My wife is a Yankee fan forever. Okay. I was a Dodger
Mhm.
fan my whole entire life. My wife was not allowed to watch the Yankees in the house. Okay. I'm not kidding. And you want to know something? She didn't.
What's up?
She didn't. She didn't do it because she did
Wow.
not want to hurt my feelings to have the Yankees on in the house. So when I turned 50 years old, my niece Jasmine, Tony Ann's daughter, was born. I feel like she needs continuity in her life. Everybody in my life is a Yankee fan. So I said to my wife, okay, now for the second half of our relationship, I'll be a Yankee fan for you.
Oh shit,
And I'll be
that's
a
nice.
Yankee fan for my niece Jasmine to see everybody has a Yankee hat on. All the boys have Yankee hats. All the boys have Raider jerseys on. You know what I mean? Like she needs to
Oh yeah,
see that family continuity, the consistency in her life. So
sure.
for these two people, I completely changed and I would have been celebrating a victory this year as opposed to a loss. But nobody on my side of the world is mad because if they were going to lose to somebody, at least it wasn't the Mets.
That's true. That's true. And like getting back to music, I always ask people
Okay.
this question, like, and I'm sure you probably have a few of these, but like, what's your craziest tour story or any experience like being at a show? Like, what's the wildest shit you've ever experienced or seen?
Besides two people from Offspring watching me fuck this girl in the fields at the Lowlands Festival, let's just throw that out there. So
Go for it.
it was the bass player and the drummer, I think, and they were doing
The
that.
drummer
So
that's not in the band anymore?
I guess he's probably
Okay.
fucking somebody in the field. But what was funny about that is that was normal. Like, you understand? That's normal shit in my fucking life. The most abnormal to a story. Alright, I'll give you two.
Okay.
One's funny and one is even funnier. But let's see.
Okay.
There was this guy in Germany we were playing, it was Monkey Pop, And it was me, it was Glenn from Scatterbrain was playing in Monkey Pup at the time. Um, so we're playing the show, and this fan gets up on stage, and he's like real big, like real fucking big, like 6'9", like a big, huge, drunken 6'9" German dude. Like,
German.
and he's like,
Scary.
he's fucking losing his fucking mind. Right. And he puts his arm around me, and we're going and we're doing all this kind of shit. And like, he was like almost knocking me off the stage. So I pushed him, and he fell off the stage. Literally, nobody caught him. And it was like the whole place split, and he went, and he was just laying there. And we're playing, and I'm staring at this guy, and I'm like, I'm going to fucking jail in Germany for murder right now. I was like, holy fucking shit. Then all of a sudden, this motherfucker got up like the Undertaker. He was just like this, got up like this and went, "Roar!" Like that. I was like, thank fucking God. I was like, thank fucking God, because what, the Lamb of God guy, right? Wasn't it? Didn't that happen to him?
Yeah, Czech Republic. Yeah, he was in jail for fucking months.
Yeah, that's what I'm fucking saying. Like, that's that was fucked up. That's a fucked up story. Now,
yeah,
my first tour with Monkey Pup, we were playing with this band called the Unstoppable Sex Machine, and they're from Britain. They're like an electronic version of the Smiths.
Okay.
I'm gonna say they're like weird post-punk. They played like a track, like a music track, and both of them play guitar, and one of them sings, and whatever. But yeah, Carter Unstoppable Sex Machine, Carter USM. Definitely check them out, because you'll enjoy it. It's basically a British sarcasm over music. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's really fucking cool. But so we're touring with them now. When we were in Germany, we were headlining. When we were in England, they were headlining, because they're huge in England. So we were playing in Germany, and we had the same catering company as the B-52s. It was the same caterers, because you know how they have that, like the guys that they travel with you, the catering company. So we had the same catering company as the B-52s. So the caterers got us in to the B-52s. It was about 15 of us.
Oh shit.
There was like 15 of us. It was like me, Eddie Sutton, rest in peace. Neg, the like tour manager from Biohazard, who so we were deep. We were very, very deep. And we go in, it's in Berlin. So we go into this place, and B-52s are on, and it's fucking fire, bro. Fire. I didn't even expect it to be as awesome as it was. So we're in there, and everybody's vibing. We're all drunk. We're fucked up, like drunk. European booze drunk. Like, that's a whole nother fucking level. And again, like I said, I'm like 17 years old, because we were touring with Leeway at the time. It was us and Leeway. So we go to leave, and we're drinking like full bottles of Jack Daniels, like at this point. Ooh. Like that kind of shit, like where you don't even feel that going down. Like, we're like that. So we go and we get into a car. Now in Germany, every cab is a Mercedes-Benz, because it's a local car there. To them, it's just a Benz. You know what I mean? It's like, whatever the lowest version of it is, but it's like the economy Benz one.
It's like a Honda here.
Yeah. So they're tan. So they're like tan, this weird color tan, and they're all Benzes. We get in the car, and we're rowdy. Like, we're all like fucking yelling and blah, blah, this and that. The German guy turns around, and he's like, yo, you guys got to stop. And Neg's like, nah, just keep fucking driving. Rah, rah, rah. We're fucking wilding out, this and that and third. So the guy goes, I'm telling you, you have to stop. So I'm sitting there, I'm going, we're going to get killed here. So the guy, after the third time, pulls over. No, we're in Germany, mind you. We're in Berlin. And this is like the year that the wall just came down.
Mm.
Okay, it was like 93, maybe
I
92.
think it would have been, yeah, 91, 90, 91. I think is when
Okay.
the wall fell. Yeah, I think.
That's what I mean. So like, that's what I mean. So it was like 92 because this was like just going into the year right after. So whatever. So we're in there. Guy pulls over and he's like, get out. So I got out. Like, I'm not even gonna hear it. I'm in a foreign ass fucking country. I got out. So I got out. Junior gets out. This girl that we were with gets out, and Neg won't get out of the car. So the guy's like, get out of the car. So he gets out of the car and then he starts shaking the car because Neg is big. He's like very big. So he's fucking shaking the fucking car. Guy pulls out a gun and goes to shoot Neg. I'm like, yo, get the fuck out of here. But like shit like that happens. Like,
Yeah.
and thinking back, I was a kid. I'm 51 now, thank God. But I was a kid in the middle of Germany in Berlin in the 90s with a German dude with a fucking gun who's about to shoot my tour manager. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah.
you could laugh at it now, but like, oh, there's a lot of dumb shit like that happen. A
Oh
lot
yeah.
of dumb shit. A lot of dumb
Yeah.
shit.
I almost got arrested in Berlin too for kind of a similar situation, but yeah, it's not a
Yours
place.
involved hookers. Yours involved hookers.
No, actually, it was when I was a monk with the Hare Krishnas.
Really?
That was, yeah, man. I was on the train
Really?
there. So I'll tell you the story. When you're in Poland, I don't know if you ever went to Poland, but if you
Yes.
ride the train on Poland, you know, I am notorious for losing shit. I always like will forget shit or lose shit. It's a horrible problem that I have, but that's what happened. I lost my ticket when I got on the train in Poland, but if you lose your ticket in Poland, you can buy another ticket from the conductor. No problem. They come around. I'm like, I don't have my ticket. Oh, okay. Well, just give us some money and we'll give you another ticket. Oh, in Germany? Oh, no. Oh, fucking no.
Oh,
No
fuck no.
way. When I was in Berlin and that happened, and mind you, I'm in my orange robes and everything,
You had to paint?
and had the T-lock on my head shaved and everything. And
Wow.
I was like, "Hey, man, I don't have my ticket," and I thought he was going to cut me some slack. All things considered, my appearance,
No
but this
soup
guy
for
was a
you.
this this guy was a he was a big, burly, about 6'6" motherfucker, stocky, and he looked right at me and he said, "Get out," at the next stop, and I was like, "Whoa, wait, what the fuck?" And I was like, "What?" And then he took me and another American woman out, and we were just standing there at the station. American woman is profusely apologetic. Every expletive, every swear word was coming out of my mouth. I got my orange robes on. I'm supposed to be representing the devotees. And I'm like, motherfucker, fuck you, blah, blah, blah. And then he just gives me a look like, you
Fuck
better
you in the
stop.
nicest, most vegetarian way I could say it, sir.
It- it- no, that was when Marine mode kicked in. I was like, fuck you, bitch, and like he was like, you want to go to jail? And I was like, no. I said, no, not here.
Not
I
in
don't.
fucking Germany.
No,
Not in
fuck
fucking
no. And
Germany.
so
You don't want to go to jail.
I said, you know what,
They
man?
still got war
Just get
criminals in there.
exactly. I said, give me the ticket. We're done. I said, just whatever, and that was the end of that. But yeah, I sympathize, man. Do not want to go to jail. Do not want to be like a Randy Blythe type situation. Fuck
No, man.
that.
No, man. In Holland, they came and they rushed us, the Dutch police. They came and rushed us. We were walking and they were searching us like right on the spot. And I had all this fucking weed on me. I had so much pop because we just had gone to a cafe and like I bought like all different stuff for the bus. So I had all this fucking weed on me. And I'm coming from America where you're going under the fucking jail in like 91. You know what I mean? For having a nickel bag, never mind having all this exotic shit. I had about 8 bags on
Oh,
me. So he goes, "Oh, you're all right." And he handed them back. And I went, "Wait, what?" And he goes, "No, you're all right. We were looking for fireworks. Somebody said that there was Americans shooting fireworks. So we're
oh.
sorry. Have a nice day." Yeah. I was like, "What?" You just gave that back to me. I was like, I'm going to jail forever.
You had to,
Because you
had to
watch all
change the
these things.
drawers after.
You watch all these things where people like, they had a fucking a pinky nail worth of cocaine and they got to get their parents to mortgage their house to
Oh
come
yeah.
they're on trial.
Well,
You know what I
you're
mean?
old
I
enough
had
to
like at
remember
least
when
an
the
ounce on me.
you're old enough to remember when the kids were going crazy in Singapore, and I don't remember what exactly they did, but they were like young American kids. This was like whenever
Oh,
Clinton
they
was
caned
president.
them. They
They
caned
caned
them.
the fuck out of him. Yeah, and
Yeah,
like,
nigga.
and Clinton was like, I guess he got them. He didn't get them completely off, but he got them to like reduce the number of, you know,
Yeah, the
strokes that they got with the
number of
bamboo.
canings.
Yeah,
Number
yeah,
of canings. I couldn't even
yeah.
fuck, and that's the shit that you worry about because, like, you don't
Yep.
wanna be in, like, Venezuela and go to, like, a Venezuelan prison. Are you
Fuck no.
fucking kidding me? And
Fuck
me
no.
looking like me going to Venezuelan prison, bro, like, what gang am I in? They're gonna murder me right on the fucking spot.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
You
And
know what
that,
I mean?
begs the next question, like, you know, have you frequented Brazil? Like, have you gone back and forth from there, or was that
Nope,
once you left, you never went back?
nope, and because I could never date a Brazilian woman and because I don't know if I'm gonna wind up being related to her. No, I'm dead serious because it could be my cousin, like, you know what I mean? Even though I didn't grow up with
Yeah.
them and some whatever, like, I could have a six-headed baby. So, the fact that I was adopted literally stopped me from dating an entire culture of women.
Wow.
Like, I only dated white girls because I knew I wasn't related to them.
Oh, I
There's
can't,
no
man.
possible way. So
I
that's the
can't.
reasoning. That's the reasoning. So why would I go there? Like anything I ever did in my life was to go get high, play music, or fuck women. Those are the three reasons for leaving your house. There's no other reason to leave your fucking house. So why am I going to get on a whole plane to go to a whole country where I got to keep it in my whole pants? For what? I'm going to go down there, what, sniff cocaine? I could do that here. Like, you know what
Hey,
I
man,
mean? Like,
bring me, man. I've been
yeah, but
trying to get that.
I'm not here
I've
to
been
live
trying to get down
vicariously.
to.
I'm here to
I've been.
live.
I hear you. I hear you. I've been trying to get down to Colombia, man. Like, I see Medellin, I see
My
Bogota. I'm
friend
like,
my friend
fuck,
Paul from
man.
Props, he goes to fucking Colombia. He goes to
Oh,
Colombia.
dude.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Put me in touch. I'm trying to learn English where you teach English in another country just so you can go down. Dude, I'm trying to eat down there, man. Like, I spent way too much money up here, man. I hear they're like way
Yeah,
more
man.
budget economy down there for
Yeah,
like good
fuck yeah.
good quality too, you know.
Yeah, no,
So
exactly. You know what I'm saying? It's better. Like I want to move back to Italy,
yeah,
unfortunately I can't do that now because I have kids and responsibilities and family stuff and all kinds of things like that. But my ultimate goal is that's where I want to retire. Like, because I'm done speaking English.
I hear you, man. And like
Done.
your parents were Italian, your adopted parents were Italian. Do you have family, like extended family there that still live there?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
What region?
Well, there's two different reasons because my father's from one and my mother's from a different one. But they're both they're both within like, let's say, a Connecticut distance away from Rome. So it's easier for people to understand that. Like
Sure.
my mother's from L'Aquila. Um, and that's in Abruzzo, if you know what that is. Somebody be like, "Oh, I'm Abruzzese," So yeah, my mother's Abruzzese and my father's from Potenza, which is in a whole nother region, like more above, like I'm gonna say more Napoli, like let's say over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's funny because I sounded like as if I said Napoli, but I said Napoli, like close, like like you know what I mean? Like
Sure.
it's not mispronounced. It's a whole made up word. Like, you know what I mean? It's like kind of
Yeah,
Romany,
yeah.
kind of Napoli. You know what I'm saying? But
Absolutely.
but see, and that's what I mean. That's how serious I am about that because it's literally my first language.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And
man.
there's not many people who I speak that with. So if you speak Italian, I only speak Italian to you. I won't speak English at all because to me, English is an ugly language. But you could
Well,
write so much more.
I had a roommate that, and you know, the Germans. I had a roommate back to Germany again. Roommate that was German, but I would speak to him in German. But because I was not a native speaker, he wouldn't speak back to me in German.
Yeah, they do that. They fucking do
It was
that.
so weird to me.
Yeah, it's almost like you gotta prove yourself on some fucking level. My ex-father-in-law hated me, so he would never speak back to me in Italian. He would only and I only spoke to him in Italian. I didn't speak in English to him at all because I knew he hated it because he hated me. So so I would do it out of spite and he would do it out of spite. So it was like a
Wow,
relationship where it was like that. So yeah, I completely understand what you mean. You know what I'm
dude,
saying?
so
It's
weird.
rough.
And
You know, and
and,
I
and then
incorporate
trying.
a lot of Italian into my songs, like, I do full Italian albums, like, I kinda prefer it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful language, man. And you know, my only relationship with Italian is, um, you know, I went to a school, an acting school where there were a lot of international students. The roommate actually spoke Italian too. This kid was a fucking genius, man. Like he spoke like 5 different languages: German,
Europeans
Italian,
all
Spanish.
speak the see the way we could go, "Oh, that guy's from New Jersey," or "That guy's from Long Island," or "That guy's from here," or "That guy's from there." We could mimic every one of their tones and timbres, every single one of them. These
Yeah,
motherfuckers learn every language in the countries that surround them, so this way they can do whatever they
so
gotta do.
crazy.
In
Yes.
America, we think they're stupid, that Europeans are dumb because they're not Americanized. You're dumb because they speak 5 languages. They fucking all of them go to the army for 2 years.
Yep.
All of them, every single
Yeah.
one of them. Like,
Hmm.
people that are in bands, all these people that go to the army for 2 years, take a 2-year hiatus and come back. Everybody in Europe serves in the army. Everybody in
Yep.
Europe knows different languages, at least 3. They know
Yeah.
at least 3 languages, and American is included in that, and I say
Well,
American because it's not English, it's American.
yeah, it's true. And you know, one of my instructors at that school was Greek, served in the military. Now he's like a pretty prolific actor within Greek circles and whatnot. But you know, in America's defense, you know, it's one of those things where it's not as emphasized as it is in other countries, and you've got like that close geographical tightness to where, you know, you can go a few hours from Germany and be in Poland, you can go a few hours from
Yeah,
Germany and be in France. And so
yeah,
it's almost like out of necessity you have to learn. We You go to Texas, they speak American English, you know. You go to Florida, they speak American English. You go to Washington
but they
state.
speak Floridian, or they speak Texan, or they speak Washington Staten.
That's true.
All of them are different. They all I lived in the Southwest for, like, 6 years, and there's things like I was telling somebody, "Get down from the car." Like, "Are you gonna get down?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" I'm thinking it goes back to the horse days, like, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna get down off the horse, but, everything's a Coke, and are you gonna get down? You know what I'm saying? When I drove to New Mexico, it was me, my daughter's mother, her mother, and her father. We drove for 10 hours a day. When we got to the first hotel, he's like, "Is she getting down?" And I was like, "Well, mine's pregnant. I don't know about yours, but" and this was my first 10 hours that I spent with this human being after knocking his daughter up. Shout out to Grandpa Frank.
Oh shit, that's
Shout out to
fantastic.
Grandpa
That's
Frank.
great,
But yeah, so
man.
and he goes, "No, get down from the car." And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "I don't use that expression. I didn't know what that was. I'm sorry."
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. That's great. That's great, man. So when you go to Italy, you say you're going to retire. You're just going to live out there. Just
Yeah. Yeah. That's where I wanna be. I
You
wanna
think
just
you'll
live
still be
there.
doing creative projects out there? You think you'll
I
still be
I
doing music?
I'll always be doing something creative no matter what because it's literally my only outlet in life. It's all I have that separates me from, you know, jumping off a bridge on some level because that's how I maintain my sanity on whatever level, whether it be making a video, drawing something, writing a song, writing a poem, writing a joke, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whatever, as long as I could put pen to paper on some level, put pen to paper, I'm gonna put pen to paper. because that doesn't go away. There's no age limit for creative, you know, anything. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
Do you do anything outside of music? Like, do you write stories? Do you do like visual art? Anything in that sort of medium?
well, I do all my own videos, like literally myself, even taping myself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
I didn't know that. Wow, that's
I do all
awesome.
my own videos. In the videos, I do all my own makeup. You know, growing up with girls, I learned how to do makeup. I learned how to do all of these things that were essential to what I do now. You
Sure.
know, like, and it's like I do all of that stuff. I do all my own cover art. You know, yeah, man. Like, if you can do it, I try it. Like on some
Sure.
level, like I want to learn animation really, really bad because I feel like if I could learn animation, that's it.
Yeah.
You know what
I
I
wish I
mean?
knew. I wish I knew, man. With my intro, I had to pay a guy to do it, but visual medium is one thing that I've always been interested in, but I have not beyond doing like films and stuff. I wish I could paint. I wish I could do all these other things. I'm just, it's not my wheelhouse. But that's awesome. I wasn't aware that you did all the videos and stuff. They're fucking awesome, man. They're great.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And if you like look at them too, it's like they're all mini movies, like everything is like that because, I'd love to get into doing that as well, It's I could write movies out of just the records I did at the end of the day and like, the storylines behind them already tell you what's going on,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So, there's a lot
absolutely.
of stuff like that, but yeah, I dabble in anything I could dabble in. If I could learn it, that means I'm not a slave to somebody else. I learned how
Yeah.
to record myself. I learned how to do everything myself. So that's why I don't rely on anything, completely self-contained.
Sure. Absolutely, man. And to seg into films, because like I said, we were like, we could start a whole podcast where we talk about films. I'm like, hell yeah, we definitely could. And it's interesting that you speak Italian. I don't have it within view here, but I've got the for a few dollars more, and it's or no, I'm sorry, I can't remember. It's il buono, il brutto, il cattivo. I'm probably
The
butchering
good, the
that,
bad,
but
and the
the
ugly.
good, the bad, the ugly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I got a few of those Italian posters, so I always got to ask you. Said you're not like a big horror guy, so what are you kind of watching right now? And are you a reader? Do you read anything? Like, what
I'm
are you
dyslexic.
reading?
I'm dyslexic,
Oh,
so reading is very hard on me. It's
mm,
very, very hard. Like if I show you like lyrics or anything that I write, you could see there's a fucking learning disability going on there on some level. But yeah, so I don't read. I use audiobooks. I've always done that. Like if I
they're
want to read
great.
a book, it's an audiobook. Like I did that shit with like any series that I liked. I'll be like, oh, let me listen to the whole thing, taking the train, so or whatever, even in the car.
Yeah,
Like I love listening to that shit in the car, so
yeah,
so I do that. Um, I'm kind of all over the place when it comes to that. Like I love musicals because, it's singing and
sure.
that's the first love, aside from everything else. Like, you know what I mean? Like I just saw Wicked was fire. What's it called? There's a lot. There's so many. There's a lot of things. Like I'm watching the new Dexter. The new Dexter is
Yeah, I
really
hear
good.
that's good. I heard
Mm,
Wicked was good too. I'm not a musical guy, but I heard it was really
Oh,
good.
it was really good. Like my favorite that put me on to musicals is West Side Story. So
That's a good one.
I
Yeah,
saw that as a kid and I was like, wow, this is fucking crazy. Like you could do music like that and still be hard. Like, you know what I mean? Like as a kid, it's like,
yeah,
oh, these are like gang members singing.
yeah.
That's
Exactly,
fucking cool as
exactly.
hell. And the fact that it's Romeo and Juliet, but thrown in an urban setting is
Yeah,
genius.
yeah, yeah.
The
Definitely.
remake, did you see the remake that they just made?
I didn't, but I know they're all mad at that Rachel Zegler girl for the Snow White shit.
Don't pay attention to that bullshit. Watch the new one. The new one is fucking phenomenal. It's totally
Okay.
phenomenal. Phenomenal. Phenomenal.
As far as like older shit, I Phantom of the Paradise. You ever see that?
No.
Oh, dude, I'm
We
gonna
could go
turn you
down
on
a
to
list
that.
of things I haven't seen.
Well, I'm going to turn you on to that because, yeah, like I said, not a musical guy, but I am a Brian De Palma guy, and Brian De
Okay.
Palma directed that, and it's like a rock opera more than anything. It's based on Phantom of the Opera, but it's
Oh,
about this
okay.
guy who's trying to secure a recording career. Yeah, I'll show you the trailer for it. It's fantastic. But as far as newer stuff, Drew Stone actually turned me on to A Star Is Born, and I
Oh,
because I'd never
oh, 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 amazing, amazing,
never
amazing.
had seen any incarnation of those. I know that was like the fourth remake,
Yeah.
and I mean, I'm in love with Lady Gaga, man. I think she's beautiful.
Who's
I
not?
think she's fucking
Who's
super
not?
talented. Man,
Who's
there's
not?
some hating ass motherfuckers on the internet that are like, "Oh my god, she looks like a man." I'm like,
That's fine.
"What the fuck?"
That's fine.
I was
Whatever,
like,
man.
"Y'all can hate."
She has a
I was
dick.
like,
Okay, cool. Whatever, man. Whatever.
I
Like you
mean,
never touched one? Come on.
I
You have
love
one.
I love Italian girls. I love their features. I love the fact that she's got like I'm a nose guy. I love
Big
like
noses.
Jewish girl noses. I don't know what it
Yes,
is, man.
yes.
I
I'll tell
love
you
it.
what it is. I'll tell you exactly what it is.
What is it?
My son had asked me, he goes, "Why do you like that?" And I was like, "Big nose." I was like, "It's all about air intake." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And I was like, "It's about air intake. The bigger the nose, the more air they could take in, the longer they can, go about their business." So
That's true. That's true, man. Jew
it, it,
girls, Italian girls, I love it. I love it, man.
that's what I'm saying, and
She's
that's
got
what
it.
I dated my whole life. Greek girls, Jew girls, and Italian girls. That's what I dated my whole life.
Dude, fantastic.
And
And
they all got big noses, except
I
my
think
wife. My nose was
I
very
think she
small.
looks better el natural, man. I think when she doesn't
She's
have
hot,
any of
bro.
the
I don't
yeah, I
care
don't
what she
think when
does.
she doesn't have any of the weird shit going on, like I think she looks a little bit better, like the just natural hair and shit, the dirty blonde and shit.
She'd be good
I'm
no
into
matter
it.
what. I don't care what
Exactly.
she does, as long as she does it with me. Whatever she wants to
Exactly.
do at that moment, she's like, "Yo, Jeff, what's up?" Be like, "Yo, let's
So,
go."
man, dude, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been
Thank you.
fantastic. I had a really great time doing this.
Thank
Just
you.
do drop everything again, plug all your, upcoming releases that you got and anybody that you want to shout out. Now's the time.
I want to shout out me because without me, now who said that? Where was that thing that they said that? I want to thank me.
It was a rapper, I think. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Is it
I
Kanye?
think it's no, ODB does it at the end of the first
Yes, it's
song.
no ODB said that. He goes, "I
Yeah,
want to
he's like,
thank me."
and I want to give a shout out to me, Big Baby Jesus. Yeah, man.
As
That's
always,
right.
I want to give a shout out to my HTC brothers. I love you. Shout out to the Black and Blue Nation. Shout out to E Train Records, Ill Rock Records, Hitsman Records. Shout out to John Salinas. Shout out to fucking Brandon Nine Toes, and shout out to Pete. And shout out to my girl and my family. Shout out to you for having me on the show. And
Dude, thanks, man.
I'm gonna have my next record is coming out. It's January 25th. It's called Jerry X is Dead. Um, yeah, that's gonna hit hard. I'm also playing Diablo Fest in February. Hopefully, you can come down to that and we could
Yeah.
chop it up a little bit over there.
I was
Um,
supposed to go to the one in Vegas and Ezek was gonna hook me up with some girls there, but didn't happen. So yeah, I'll definitely make it out to one of them.
yeah, it's here. It's in Brooklyn.
Okay.
It's
I'll
gonna be.
I'll definitely I've been
It's
back
gonna
and forth from New York recently, so I'll definitely try to make that.
nice, nice. But yeah, that's what's going on. And again, the Five Families that's coming out this year too. So and the new
Excellent.
Dead Crew album that'll be out, totally produced by John Salinas. But yeah, all that's coming this year. Huh, Jerry Body, motherfucker.
Fuck yeah, man. And I'll be sure to post all the links down in the comments and I'm always
Thank you, bro.
hyping up the guests on Instagram. So whatever stories and whatever whatnot you got to share, just shoot them my way and I'll share them out. One thing that I like to do, like I said at the top of the hour, I run a merch company, Hell's Heart Merch Co. As you can see at the bottom, hellsheartco.bigcartel.com. Use the code 20 for 20% off your entire order. I'm going to throw up some samples here.
Order that shit.
We got, this is a Steve McQueen bullet shirt that I've got. Black Flag mock. Here's Psycho 2, Anthony Perkins.
Fire.
Scream Tatum. That's a glow in the dark one, by the way.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then Randy from Scream, glow in the
Oh,
dark.
nice.
So check that out. And I'll also play a little stinger on the way out for that. But yeah, Jerry, I was about to say Jerry X, but Jerry fucking Body, this has been fucking awesome, man. You've
Thank
been
you, brother.
great, dude. Anytime you want to come back, we'll set it up. And everybody, you can see on the bottom there the TNF podcast on X, Instagram, and Twitch. Give me a follow on all those, and support Jerry on his social media as well.
Thank you.
Dude, yeah, been fantastic. And everybody, thank you so much for coming. Namaste, jobless, be good. We're gonna play a merch promo, and then we're gonna end it. Thanks so much, guys.
Later, bro.